be okay with dropping channels. Seriously, be okay walking away from what's been working until now and try something new. I often notice that data-driven means data-trapped.
Are you a fitness-loving foodie? Then Defy Snacks is for you. Defy offers real, high-quality chocolate you love, combined with functional ingredients, giving you as much as 26 grams of protein per bag, so you can be both a little bit bad and a little bit good at the same time. As a female-owned brand, Defy dedicates a portion of its profits to other women-owned businesses. Currently sold in the US, you can find us on defy.snacks.com and follow us on social at Defy Snacks.
Hello and welcome to the Shiny New Object podcast. My name is Tom Ollett and I'm the founder of Automated Creative, the creative effectiveness ad tech platform. And this is a weekly podcast about the future of data-driven marketing. Every week or so, I have the pleasure and the privilege of interviewing one of our industry's leaders about the future of our industry. And this week is no different. And I'm very excited to be sat here with Anna Soldatova, who is performance marketeer at Swapfiets, and we're in her office in Amsterdam. I love doing podcasts in person, and Amsterdam's so beautiful. It hasn't rained once. It's been glorious. And Anna, thanks so much for the coffee. Thanks so much for having me. Can you give the audience a little bit of background into who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. And I'm very happy to welcome you in my office. And you are very lucky with the weather. Usually it rains a lot. But yes, I'm Anna. I'm performance marketeer at Swapfiets. I've been already working in the marketing field for last 7 years. I started in events marketing because I really didn't know what kind of marketing I want to do for my career. And there I learned about performance marketing. I never actually heard about it before. And it was really new, but I fell in love straight away. And first I thought that I only need to learn one platform, but through the years I realized that, I find it quite a nice challenge to manage multiple channels. And at Swapfiets, I'm responsible for acquiring new customers through multiple paid channels. And my challenge mostly is just to make a nice mix of the challenge and make them work together.
So in that career, and I love that you fell in love with performance marketing. There's not enough people falling in love with performance marketing in my view. But in that 7-year career, going from events to performance to managing multiple channels, what new belief or behavior has improved your work life?
To answer this question, I need to tell about myself. I'm a bit introvert, shy, and risk-averse. I also like having things under control. And I do have a lot of qualities at my work and trades that help me a lot. But then at some point I realized that it's difficult for me to present in front of the audience when all eyes are on me. The spotlight, I'm in the spotlight. To sell my idea to stakeholders in a compelling way. And I found that terrifying, the idea of being in situations where all eyes are on me. And I thought that this will be an obstacle in my future career. So last year, I decided to really step out of my comfort zone and do something completely terrifying for me. I joined an improv class. And I already bought straight away a full package. I didn't really go for a trial session. Why? Because I know how my own conversion funnel works. And I knew that if I just take a trial session, I will chicken out straight away. And I was right. Because the beginning of the class was terrifying. I entered the room full of strangers, all eyes on me. Most of the people already had many years of experience, even if it was a beginner class. And the teacher just said, okay, good luck. You really need to pick it up. And we straight away went to a sketch. And My hands were shaking, my heart was beating. I thought that I was the worst in the class, and maybe at that point I was. But then afterwards something clicked. After talking with these people, they all said that they had the same fear, but the improv is giving you tools to go through this fear. In the next couple of months, I learned how to recognize my body movements, how to work with my voice, and to also project confidence whenever I was panicking inside. Also, I learned a muscle memory, that our body has a muscle memory, and in order for us to feel more relaxed before bigger presentations, we really need to shake out the tension, we need to move shoulders, and we need to do some vocal exercises. So also today I did it, and I do look very silly, but it actually helps. So what did improv class teach me? It taught me to be present in the moment, instead of overthinking, to respond to the answers straight away. It also it made difference in my personal life and also private life, because in the improv, for the scene to go on, you really need to listen to the voice of your partner, but also react to the body language. And if you don't do it, the scene dies. And the same also applies to my work. If I'm not completely synced with my team, with my strategy, then the connection dies. Secondly, it also taught me how to take into account how my body reacts in a different situation. So I also help it with like different body movements in order to show a confidence and enter to the meeting rooms already feeling great. And I think if you're already feeling this way, half of the battle is already won. And thirdly, what it really taught me to be present in the moment and answer to the questions. So it really made a big difference. And a year ago, I wouldn't have accepted to be here with you in this podcast. But because of the improv and the tools that I gained, it really made a difference. And after all the silly and funny sketches I have done there, actually presenting some marketing ideas doesn't seem so awful anymore.
Yeah, I've done a couple of improv courses. I did stand-up comedy for a few years, and it was awful. Like,
yes.
Like really bad. But I just really, I like sort of doing mad things to see if I could do them or not, really.
Yeah.
But I think what I learned from improv, I think you said it, your last point there, is that when you have to sit in the other person's shoes, don't you? You have to, what you're saying, it's a really interesting point about the checking their body language as well, so that you have to think about your own thoughts, but you have to objectively think about your thoughts whilst watching that other person.
Yeah.
And I find that what happens is that time kind of slows down a bit.
Yeah.
And so that when you're presenting and you've got a slide with all the words written on it, you're like, well, we saw the click-through rate go. And then your brain can autopilot the presentation, but your objective brain can see how the people are responding to it, their body language, are they on their phone? Are they paying attention to you? So I can absolutely relate to that experience. So that's a great bit of advice for an introvert performance marketer. Go and do an improv course. Fantastic. But what advice do you have specifically around data-driven marketing? That bit of advice that stood you in good stead in your career that you find yourself sharing most often?
Yeah. My advice would be okay with dropping channels. Seriously, be okay walking away from what's been working until now and try something new. Because I often notice that data-driven means data-trapped. We start using the same dashboards, the same reports, the same channels that once delivered amazing results. And before you know it, we stop experimenting. We are just optimizing the past. But the reality is channels have life cycles. Audiences shift, people move on, algorithms change. And if you're too emotionally attached to the channel you work with, or actually your own success on the channel, you can't see that data anymore clearly. It's like staying in a relationship that used to be good, and you just keep on saying, wow, we had such an amazing time in 2019, while engagement rate is below 0 in your relationship. And maybe you're not even making the right decision if you're too deep in your channel. Once you step away from something, give yourself a distance and time you need, you can start seeing things much more clearly. That's why sometimes you need to take this distance to get away from your channel, from your day-to-day work, and start experimenting. It at least helps a lot for me because I can gain a first perspective, and I also can see a better picture of what's actually happening. And I see it a lot in my career that a lot of companies are focusing on 2 main channels, Meta and Google. There goes the most of the time and the budget, while the focus is not also in discovering new channels like Snapchat, podcast, and Reddit, because companies think they are good enough, but I think that good enough is an enemy of growth. And at Swapfiets, I'm also very happy that we are testing a lot of channels. And if the data is showing that the new channel is not performing, we just move on, because at least I believe that data does not have feelings. It's not sentimental. It shows us the truth, what's working right now. So we all, including me, should learn how to listen without biases and say goodbye to some things that is not performing anymore.
So many sound bites. You're a soundbite person. Data-driven, not data-trapped. Emotionally attachment to channels are good enough as the enemy of growth, and data does not have feelings. Brilliant. This episode of the Shiny New Object podcast is brought to you in partnership with MadFest. Whether it's live in London or streamed online to the global marketing community, you can always expect a distinctive and daring blend of fast-paced content, startup innovation pitches, and unconventional entertainment from MadFest events. You'll find me causing trouble on stage, recording live versions of this podcast, and sharing a beer with the nicest and most influential people in marketing. Check it out at www.madfestlondon.com. The shiny new object is the secret to managing multiple channels.
Yeah.
Right? So we know that you like to break up with channels and you like to experiment with new channels. So yes, you've got your Metas and your Googles and your Snaps and your Reddits and your Pins. Like, how do you do it? How do you manage all those channels with the resources you have available?
Yeah. Well, good question. I'm part of a very small team, and that's why we really need to find ways how to, in the most efficient way, manage channels. And at least for me, I think managing multiple marketing channels is just like juggling 6 or sometimes more balls at once. And then one, or if you're not lucky, multiple balls are set on fire. And each channel has its own personality, quirks, budgets, strategies, and visuals. And trying to do everything yourself can lead to burnout. 80% of your time will be spent in repetitive tasks, leaving only 20% to strategy. So first lesson I learned, agility matters. You need to know when you need to pivot, when data tells you something isn't working, when the tool channel strategy is no longer serving your goals. The secret, however, for me, lies in partnerships. It's not only about fancy technology, it's also about people. Agencies, freelancers, tech partners can be either your lifeline or a drain, depending on their dedication, communication, and of course, understanding of your business. investing your time, energy, and yes, love into this relationship transforms them from mere vendors into true collaborators. And when people behind tools actually care, your work becomes smoother, faster, and far more impactful. Take affiliate marketing, for example. So when I joined my company, it was chaotic. A bunch of partners reaching out randomly. Every person in the company was responsible for some partnership. We had no data, no really understanding what was working, what not, where we should keep on going and where we should stop partnership. By bringing in affiliate network platform and selecting the right partners, I created a connected ecosystem where relationship thrived, campaigns performed better, and data became meaningful instead of overwhelming. Similarly, I had experience last year switching to new creative agency tool that really taught me that tools alone won't make you better. Each company, I think, kind of have quite similar proposition, but the humans using them do. And the marketing world is obsessed with AI, dashboards, automations. Like, if you have the right tech, it will turn you in superhuman. But the reality is automation and AI, for example, are just tools. They are powerful, but they only can shine if people using them understand the business, the context, and frankly, how to just be humans. This human aspect of marketing I want to emphasize. Marketeers don't need to do it all themselves. Seeking help when needed allows you to focus your energy on what truly drives impact. Technology and automation are important, but really people behind them are making the biggest impact. Trust, engagement, and shared purpose turn multiple moving parts, internal teams, external teams, tech partners, into one organism that goes towards the same goal. And sometimes you have to let it go. If a channel, tool, or partner isn't producing results, the data tell you as a story, say goodbye. But when the people generally move the needle, you invest trust, energy, and time to nurture this relationship. So the balance really to manage multiple channels is agility, technology, and most importantly, people. Is what makes managing multiple channels not possible, but also successful. And at the end of the day, marketing isn't about solo heroics. It's about teamwork, trust, building partnerships that allow you to focus on strategy, creativity, and real impact. Outsource wisely, invest deeply in the right people, and watch the chaos transform into a network that works as one.
So I think you put that beautifully, but it all sounds too perfect to me. So can you tell me some stories about how you got to that realization? So I hear what you're saying, agility, tech, people, some lovely things here about moving people from not just suppliers, but to actual partners with time, energy, and love, vendors to collaborators, sorry, was your phrase. But you're talking about a very utopian view of this, but at some point it must have been really painful. You talked about the affiliates, but can you give me another story, without giving too much away, about how you arrived at this realization? Like, you use the word love, that's very powerful and not one you hear about very much in performance marketing. So I just want to know a bit more background about how you got there.
Yeah, of course. Since I'm managing so many channels, it's really important for me to find partners. So, for example, also to have a tool where all the creatives will be placed into, also where I can distribute to multiple channels. Like, this is really important for my job, to automate my job as much as possible. So we worked before with a tool that was wonderful in theory, but the sales rep was really not helping out. Like, I had so many ways where I could go with this platform, but I did not really get any help. So that's why we decided to move to a different platform. And it's always really a pain point to do it, because you always need to move all the data from one platform to another one. There are multiple trainings, and until you also start performing the way you want, it takes 6 months or more. So that's why it's always a big decision. Should we go forward or just stay what we have? Because at least this is comfortable, and we don't need to invest time that we actually don't have. But then once we moved to a new creative tool, which is also wonderful, but the sales rep is really stepping forward every time when I have a question. He's there holding my hand if something is not working well, and giving a lot of advice. And with this partner, I actually was able to scale. So 2 platforms are quite similar in a way. But the difference is the partner we chose, and I'm super happy that we did it. So that's why, I do think it's utopian to say that with the right partners, you can scale very well, but it's also very difficult to get to this point, and it's always should be about trial and error as well.
So unfortunately, I would love to dig more into this, but we've run out of time. So Anna, if someone wants to get in touch with you, what's a good platform to do that? But crucially, what makes a message that you will actually reply to?
Yes, so it's the best platform is LinkedIn, and any message really works. If you have any questions about the industry or about my company or what I do, please reach out. I'm always happy to answer.
Fantastic. Anna, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hi. Just before you go, I'd really appreciate it if you could take the time to write a review of the Shiny New Object podcast on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, whatever it's called these days, or whichever podcast provider you use. We're an indie podcast, so it would go a long way for us if you could just share the word and give us a bit of a support on those channels. That would just be fantastic. If you haven't got time, that's also cool. And if you could tell your colleagues about the podcast, and also, if possible, don't forget to subscribe. And I'd love to hear your feedback. If you'd like to speak on the podcast or be a guest, or you think I'm asking the wrong questions, anything, I'd be super interested to hear what you think. So please email me at tom@automatedcreative.net. That's TOM at, I'm not going to bother spelling it. Anyway, you'll work it out. Thanks so much.